1 Live, Cult Complex, welcome and good evening, Marc Almond.
Very nice to be here.
Yeah, fine. Marc, what a career. We take a song which is probably 8-9 years old and we can say, well, it's probably the mid-period of your career, isn't it?
Probably, yeah, about 19, I think it was about 1988, 89, I think it is, Run Rings. Yeah, around the time of the Stars We Are album.
There are maybe different reasons that you are here in Germany, but I think the most important one is to promote your new album, which is due to come out
in February, middle of February, I think, around the 20th, called Fantastic Star.
Fantastic Star. Yeah, the stars. Marc, we are allowed to hear some stuff from the new album tonight.
Yeah, as much as you like. You can play whatever you want.
Is it possible in a few minutes to say something like world exclusively and
I think it is actually. It is a world exclusive.
Oh wow.
A world exclusive playing of tracks from my new album.
Oh, I'm becoming nervous.
I'm nervous too. I'm very nervous too.
Before we do that, we should start, especially for the more younger listeners, to try to have a small look to how it all started out.
Yeah.
Spontaneously, can you remember your very, very, very first public appearance as an artist? Kann sich erinnern an seinen allerersten Auftritt?
Well, I was in many kind of groups when I was at school. You know, I was in school groups. I don't know whether you want to count those or not. That was when I was about 16 or 17. But I suppose my first real appearance, I think, with Soft Cell, certainly was at an art college dance at an art college disco, and it was our very first performance, and I think it was, looking back, it was very, very raw and very probably not very good, and I think I remember rightly, I think that's when somebody sort of punched me in the face as well. I think somebody disliked us so much I got hit in the face, so I can remember that performance very well. Yeah,
and it was probably in the late 70s, I would say.
It was very late. Yeah, it was about 1979. The first Soft Cell were formed about 1978, 79.
Was it in Leeds where you?
It was in Leeds, yeah. And I was studying art at the art college, and that's where I met David Ball. And we used to play our very first concerts just locally around the area. And there was just me and David, and we used to have a film show playing behind us, films and slides and things, projections behind us, and just with a tape recorder and a synthesizer. It was very, very basic electronic music.
What's the place you were born in?
I was born in Southport.
Many people normally ask me, who is coming in your show, who's your guest tonight, and I say he or she or she. And when I told some people, well, Marc Almond is coming, nobody said, Tainted Love. So question goes, are you proud in a way not to being nailed down on this very, very big hit you had in the early 80s, like some other artists are? You know what I
think? Yeah, I think that it is part of my history. You know, I think that it's a record that was extremely popular all over the world and certainly broke us internationally. And I think I probably went through a period of my life where I never want to hear it again. You know, I think I got really sick of it. But now I think I can accept it and enjoy it, and even sometimes I even play it live in concert again now. You know, I think it's one of those records you can't run away from, and it's always going to be very popular and it's always going to be played, you know. So I think I'm very proud that I did it.
We mentioned an album called The Stars We Are from probably 1989. The new album has the title Fantastic Star. Yeah. So what do you think? I mean, normally it would be a very silly question, but in your case, I doubt. So do you feel as a star, Marc Almond? Are you a star?
Of course I am. You know, after 16 years, I hope so. No, it's not something that I think the title, it could be the title Fantastic Star. You could look on it as something that either arrogance or something of irony as well. And it's a little bit of both. I think it's saying, well, this is how I feel in 1996. You know, it's a new re-emergence. It's a new rebirth. but also it's kind of maybe a little tongue-in-cheek as well, you know, maybe making fun of myself a bit. It's something that I don't go around the street thinking, you know, oh, I'm a star or whatever. You know, I think to be a star, I think you have to have respect. I think that's something that I've worked to gain over the years, and hopefully I'm now respected as an artist. I've made a lot of records, and I've had a lot of success and done a lot of different things. So I think if I've got respect, then that's the main thing, you know, and people like me for my music, and I don't tend to think about the rest of it, you know, the other side of it, really.
My personal thoughts about being a star are there must always be some rumors going on around the person. Will you agree?
I've certainly had enough of those over the years, yeah. Things that I won't go into here, but... I think it's good. I think people, you know, they like a bit of... I think it's good to have a bit of mystery. I think, to me, all the stars that I've always liked, and the icons and heroes, I've always had a bit of mystery. You never know. You hear stories about them. You're never sure whether it's true or whether it's not true. You sometimes hear exaggeration and even absolute lies, you know. But you never know where the truth ends and the reality begins. And I think it's important to have a bit of... To be a true star, I think you have to have a certain element of mystery.
And to complete the sentence, I heard some rumors all over the years, and I will try to get it to you during this show, but not now. No, don't worry. No, Mark.
My lawyers are listening.
Seine Rechtsanwälte hören zu. No, there's a really strange thing I will confront you with in a few minutes, but we have to listen to your music. Otherwise we get trouble because we are talking too much, you know. Star, which you recorded in New York.
I recorded quite a lot of the album in New York, yeah. Most of the album was recorded over about a 3-year period, and the first songs were recorded in New York, the last songs of the album were recorded in London. But, I mean, I love working and recording in New York. I did the first Soft Cell albums there with producer Mike Thorne, and on this album I went back to work with Mike Thorne again, so it was strange, really. It was like coming full circle.
Yeah. You hadn't seen him for years?
No, I hadn't seen him for a long, long time. The last time I saw him was when I did a single with Bronski Beat around the early 80s, yeah, which was I Feel Love. And that was the last time that I saw him. So it was great. It was like, you know, strange déjà vu, old times again.
Mm-hmm. Let me translate in a few words. So is it possible to say it's in a way a return to early, I wouldn't say soft cell sounds, but soft cell principles? You are again working with mild grooves, with lush sounds.
It's certainly a return to kind of like a more minimal electro pop, I think, you know, working with electronic music again and a more minimal sounding pop. On the last album, Tenement Symphony, I was working with Trevor Horn and big production and 70-piece orchestras. So I really wanted to get back to a more economical pop sound, electro sound, which would also work very well live, I think, as well. Yeah, it's nice to see. It's nice to see that Neil X has got a sense of humour, isn't
he? Here we are again with some of the greatest fakes, hypes during the last 10 years. I mean, it has also something to do with stardom in a way, hasn't it?
Yeah, I think so. So it has something to do with something, but I don't know what.
Also, um mal den Background zu klären, wir haben ja gerade Musik. Do you say 66 Sputnik or Sputnik?
66 Sputnik.
Sputnik. Musik von...
of course features Neil X, my current guitarist and co-songwriter. The subtle guitar playing of Mr. Neil X.
What's important, or better say, what is appreciating about stardom? Do you think just the rise or also the fall of star?
No, I think it's very interesting when you watch, you know, when we all have icons and stars and heroes and idols, and I think it's very interesting the way people build stars up, you know, to almost be like gods in a way, and then people are surprised and disappointed when they turn out to be human after all and succumb to all the failings of fame and success, which so often destroys many people. Like like the song on the album Fantastic Star, the song called "The Idol," kind of gives a list of people really that have come to a bad end through fame and success. And I think we're all fascinated by that. We're fascinated when things go wrong for stars and people, their lives fall apart through drugs or suicide or drink and everything. And I think, you can watch it happening with someone like Michael Jackson. We build him up to superstar, and then we kind of are surprised when all these kind of things happen.
Yeah. And even is it David Cassidy?
Well, I was just looking at all different kinds of stardom and what it does to people. And sometimes, with teen idols, I think that's the most cruelest success of all, because sometimes a teen idol, when they're kind of young and fresh and the young sort of teen fans love them, and then very soon their careers are over, and then what are they going to do with the rest of their lives? And it becomes like they're washed out after about 2 years, and it's very cruel. I think fame is very cruel, what it does to people. So on The Idol, I'm looking at all different people and what success has done to them, and fame has done, and I think fame is very, very cruel, especially to teen idols, because nobody wants an old age teen idol.
So was it right? It is. Was it David Cassidy or?
Well, I think when I was growing up in the 70s, and it was, I suppose, the teen idols of that time were David Cassidy and the Osmonds. Since then we've had Bros and a lot of the kind of the young sort of teen bands and boy bands, as we call them in Britain, who come and go, and you kind of wonder what they're going to do with the rest of their lives, and it's really cruel because they've been given this taste of adulation and love and success and glamour, and suddenly it's taken away and nobody wants them anymore, and really, so they become sort of drug addicts and commit suicide. Yeah, it's like a glam rock epic.
Ein Glam Rock Epos, wie Marc sagt. The shit time is running. Some questions. Hopefully you find very short answers.
Okay.
Dave Ball, your partner in Soft Cell. Are you still working with him, seeing him regularly?
We don't work together at the moment, but Dave and I are still very good friends, and I think hopefully we'll write together again sometime in the future.
You always had some side projects. For example, you worked with Jacques Brel songs, you worked with Bertolt Brecht, Kurt Weill compositions. As far as I know, you had Mark and the Mumbles, a band in the early 80s. Are there any side projects at the moment?
There's a couple of producing projects that I'm doing in England. I'm working with a British singer from the 60s called PJ Proby, who was a legend during the 60s in Britain, very eccentric singer, and he's doing a comeback album, so I'm working on songs and producing an album for him along with Neil X, and also Saint Etienne, the group Saint Etienne, sort of a British group, are involved as well.
Did you know that this is one of my absolute favorite bands at the moment from England?
Oh,
absolutely,
yes. Yeah, they're great, aren't they?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Rumors are going on now.
Rumors.
That you are living, Gerüchte, that you are living in a church in London.
This is a true rumor. This is true. Yeah, I do live in a small church.
Rumors are going on that old glam rock star Chris Penning has a part on your new record.
He does. He plays a lot of guitars on the new album, so this is a true rumor.
Rumors are going on that you once burned down the record company's office. And it's the same record company you are signed at the moment.
Tempted. I've been tempted, but it's not exactly a true rumor. It's not a true rumor, no. We didn't burn the record company down. We did have a little bit of a fight in the record company around 1983, I think. Me and my manager had a bit of but we didn't burn it down. We were tempted. Okay. But no, we like our record company very much now.
I heard a very strange story from a band from San Francisco. So I was told, they once played in England, and you were very, very young. and you were very impressed by this band and how they treated their synthesizers. And after the show, you came to the band to get an autograph or to get some tips how to check it out with synthesizers. And the name of the band is Tuxedo Moon. Is it right?
No, not exactly true. I used to like Tuxedo Moon very much, but I certainly never went backstage to meet them. So this is not a true rumour. No, but I do know of Tuxedo Moon, and I liked a lot of their early music very much, but I never went backstage to meet them or...
Yeah.